In the words of Maya Angelou, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. Welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. I'm your host, Verdel Jones. And being an educator at heart, I'm dedicated to sharing conversations that inform and enlighten in the hopes that you learn something you may not have known. So we are very excited about today's show. I'm really anxious to get started. We have a lot of information that you will be interested. Make sure you share and like the show so everybody else can see what's going on. We are here live at Paradise Studios on the Strong Island Television Network, as always. So shout out to Strong Island Television. And I also want to take this opportunity to, before we get started, to thank our sponsor, Nancy Vargas Johnson. Nancy Vargas Johnson is a realtor in the Long Island area, Nassau, Suffolk County, Queens also. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, you can reach out to Nancy Vargas Johnson and she will hook you up. I also want to make mention that we have Conversations with Verdel Jones mugs as well. So if you want to be part of the conversation, you can go to my website and order your mug today. So check that out. One of the things that I talk about, or I've talked about on previous shows, and we are just delighted and thrilled to be talking about this, is our Write, Rhyme, and Recite Collective. We are celebrating young poets and highlighting authors. This event is going to be on June 8th at the African American Museum in Hempstead. Tickets are $15, and with that, you have the author presentations, you have book signings, you have the Poetry Slam scholarship contest, and it also includes lunch. So for $15, you're getting just some great information. We also have a great guest speaker that's going to be there as well. So I want to make sure that you guys know all about that. You can get your tickets at if you go to my Facebook page, Deli Teach, DELITEACH, you will see it under events. So you want to make sure that you check that out. So we're gonna go right to our week in review. What has been going on? What has Verdel Jones been up to and the family? I've been away for a little bit, and we went on vacation. And I mentioned that the last time I was on the show, and we had an awesome time. We went to Florida, we went to Disney, we went to Universal Studios. We just had a blast. I will say, Disney, there's a lot of walking and waiting, walking and more waiting. But it was a lot of fun. What we did, we went to Disney in one day, and we got a hopper. So we only went to 3 parks, and we, meaning my husband, Jeremiah, and my dad, and me, we only went to 3 parks. And then the rest of them, which was our son, my aunt, my daughter, my niece, my brother, my other niece, they went to all 4 parks. It was just a lot, but it was a lot of fun. Universal, I think I like a little bit better, just because we were able to get more in, I think, at Universal. There's only 2 parks. But anyway, so we had a great time. The weather was nice. I really didn't want to leave. So another big thing that happened this week was Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones came back this week, and it came back when we were in Florida. So we shut everything down. And for those of us who are into Game of Thrones, we watched the first episode, and it was an event. What's that? Oh, that was the second episode? All right. Sorry, that was the second episode. Maya's telling me it was the second episode. So we shut everything down and had to watch that. We've been every week. Some shows you can DVR and you can watch them after when you get a chance. Not Game of Thrones. You have to watch it that night, because what I also like to do is watch the live tweets. I mean, that's a lot of fun as well. This past week was very, very good. Very good. I mean, they've all been good. So anyway, Game of Thrones, if you're not on it, if you're not watching it, you got to get with it. It's such a great show. You can watch all the past seasons. We also went to the Women's Diversity Summit in Old Westbury. Maya and I attended that, and we had an awesome time. It was a full day event packed with workshops and food, and I mean, it was the energy that was in this space was magnificent. I went last year and they announced that they were doing it again, so I had to get my tickets, and I wanted Maya to join me in that event. It was just, it was inspirational, as Maya called it. It was refreshing. It just got you motivated, and there's a lot of women there just doing great things. So that was an awesome event. So that was the Women's Diversity Summit. And I also posted a picture on my Facebook page of a before and after shot of me. So I've been on this, weight loss journey, trying to, drop a few lbs. And I put up this before and after picture. And I got such great response. It made me feel good. Like sometimes when, these things happen, you don't know whether or not you're, it's working, your clothes feel different and all that, but I'm very happy about that. So as a result, if anybody's interested in, in finding out what I did, I was on Isogenics, or I'm doing the Isogenics lifestyle. So there's information there. If anybody's interested in actually, checking out Isogenics, you can go to my website, which is Verdel, Verdel .isogenics, and that's ISAGENIX.com. So you can go on there and check it out. We are talking today about Ujama Fest. Talking about events and, the diversity summit that we went to last weekend. Ujama Fest is an awesome event here on Long Island. It started in December of, I can't remember the year, it might have been 2017. I think it might have been 2017. And I participated as a vendor. I also, I'm an author, so we did that. And they did it again in May of 2018. And now they're having a Ujama Fest May of 2019. So we're going to be talking about that. And when I say they, I'm talking about Black Long Island. The Facebook page Black Long Island really has a great impact on Long Island and events that are going on. So we have a very special guest here to tell us all about Black Long Island, to tell us about Ujama Fest. I'm going to talk about some of the vendors. So we are looking forward to that conversation. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to welcome our first guest. So make sure you like and share. Stay tuned. Yeah. Welcome back to Conversations with Verdel Jones. As you see, I have with me Miss Deborah Payton Jones. Thank you so much for coming to Conversations with Verdel Jones.
Oh, absolutely. I would go anywhere you ask.
Okay. So you are representing Black Long Island today.
Absolutely.
All right. And when I talked to Felicia Moss about Ujama Fest, she had actually called me in reference to some media coverage for Ujama Fest, and immediately I'm like, you got it.
Thank you very much.
The event last year, in December, I think it was 2017.
Correct.
Was the first one. I attended as a vendor, as I had mentioned, and I was so impressed. I mean, as soon as I walked in, and the registration and everything, I said, "Okay, they're serious." It was
Thank you for
so
that.
well done, and I couldn't miss an opportunity to go to the one that was in the spring of last year, and definitely be involved in in this year. So
thank you for your support.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And it's important. So we're going to talk all about Ujamaa Fest. I want to show everybody the flyer of information about Ujamaa Fest. It's May 18th. It's going to be at the Wine Dance train station. So we'll show that. But what I really wanted to ask you about was Black Long Island has such a big impact on Long Island. Why did the Black Long Island Facebook page start?
Well, oftentimes you see a need and you fill it. So I have to pay homage to Billy Moss and Felicia Moss for conceptualizing Black Long Island and what it's like and what it means to be a Black business on Long Island, and how you may not have the marketing savvy or the marketing, the advertising budget to be able to get the word out that you do exist. So I really applaud those two who are the co-founders of Black Long Island, and how wonderful it was to be able to become a part of it.
Right. And when did they start Black Long Island?
2016 is when Black Long Island started.
Because it really is part of the Long Island lexicon now. It really is. When I often hear people say, "I saw that on Black Long Island." Oh, but on Black Long Island, so it's really.
It's almost like a verb.
It is. It really is, and I'm just excited that it is something that individuals can go to find out information.
Yes.
Not only people that are entrepreneurs, but people that are authors, people that are doing things in the community. It's multifaceted, and it's really just a well done. It's not even it's a Facebook page, but it's more than that.
Well, thank you. It's almost like for us, by us. And so the great thing about it is it's just highlighting and identifying services, eateries, businesses that you can then avail yourselves to that you may never have known that existed.
Absolutely. And when something hits that's controversial or whatever it might be, it goes on that Facebook page and it's viral.
Yes. Yes. It's now up to 21,500 people on Long Island. And that's the key. In order to be a part of it, we want you to live on Long Island.
Right.
Because otherwise your perception is going to be very different.
Absolutely.
Now, I work in Manhattan, and I live on Long Island. So I understand that there are different ideologies that are in place. If you're truly going to understand, first of all, we say on Long Island.
Right.
Anyone else will say, I'm going, hey, is she in Long Island? So the great thing about it is that just understanding that little subtle nuance is important for us to even identify.
Absolutely. So, you were saying that there was a need and you filled the need. So I want to give a quick plug to our daughter, Maya Jones. She has a website called Shades of Long Island. And Shades of Long Island highlights millennials and minority millennials and Gen Z on Long Island, and she covers events that that impact the younger folks. So she will be at Ujamaa Fest to represent and cover that as well. So I just wanted to make sure I gave her that little plug. She got her official business papers today, so she's actually a business. So I'm very proud of her.
Congratulations.
So let everybody know what Ujamaa Fest actually is. First, what does Ujamaa mean?
Cooperative economics.
Okay.
Ujamaa is the fourth principle of Kwanzaa.
Right.
And cooperative economics so that you will keep money within a community so as to strengthen the community.
Right.
And so by doing so and looking at what, if you want to start something, you have to start from the ground up. And you have to make sure that everyone is on the same page. And what better way to do it but to identify and highlight authors, youth entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs and youth entrepreneurs, authors, bakeries, eateries, and have every ilk come together so that you can see it in one-stop shopping. Because oftentimes we, in 2019, have very short attention spans. So one-stop shopping is amazing.
Right.
So to be able to bring all these entities in, and with our sponsors, VidCom and Smiley and Wine Dance Plaza, and you don't have to plug all the sponsors.
Right,
Plug
definitely,
sponsors.
absolutely.
So when doing that, it's really important that we allow people to come in and see for themselves and participate and test the quality, eat the food.
That's right.
Read the books, read the author's books, read the inside of the jacket, so that you'll be able to make a decision based upon informative information.
Absolutely, and there's a connection there. There's networking also. While I was there was a lot of networking to be done because we are so isolated. Long Island is a very segregated area, and we are in pockets.
Yes.
So we're not always together because we're in those pockets. So I credit Black Long Island also for being able to make more of the connections.
Going from 0 2 people, I'll say that Billy and Felicia were the first two.
Right.
Going from 2 people to almost 22,000 people in such a short span of time.
Right.
It really has given light to giving a voice to different people.
Right.
Which I will say I'm one of. I'm a moderator. So we have other moderators that after they conceptualized, founded, and really put it out there, then they opened it up for people with different experiences to come in and help them. And we spoke about, we go from baby boomers to Gen, whatever the new term is right now. X, Y, Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z, whatever, whoever's born in 2019, they can even identify as well. Because we make sure that they're, for the new kids, there's bouncy houses. For the old crew, there's old school parties. So even though we really don't advertise, a lot of people don't understand why we don't advertise just parties, because that's something we tend not to have a problem with finding.
Right. You're right about that.
So that's not something that we
true.
then promote. And we want everyone to know that if indeed you're the owner of the company, that's different. If you're the owner of the establishment and you're doing an event today, you're doing it for family reunion, tomorrow you're doing it for another reason. That's different than you having Thursday nights at a particular location.
Right, exactly. It's really just, it's the economics. So Black Long Island really does focus a lot on the economic piece.
Oh, 100%.
And community.
Yeah.
So speaking of community, I know there's a lot of things that are happening, not just vendors, at the Ujamaa Fest that's on May 18th. Make sure you go to that. But there's also community events. I know I saw something about there's going to be the Youth Leadership Caucus, the employment fair. What is that about?
We give an opportunity, because we have such a large following, we want to make sure that we touch whatever anyone wants to be a part of.
Right.
So we want to make sure you have a job. If you don't like the job you're in, come and learn about another job.
Okay.
And then we want to make sure that the youth are empowered to the point that they understand that their voices matter. So it's not one generation against another generation.
Right,
we want everyone to come together, because ultimately we're not going to be successful until the weakest of us is as strong as the strongest of us.
Absolutely. So we're going to be talking about the vendors who are participating. Tell me a little bit about the venue.
The venue, it's interesting. We were fortunate enough to get Wine Dance Plaza. And our first venue was Dominican Village.
Right.
That was internal. It was very beautiful. It was
very nice.
We had 65 vendors, and over 300 people came in that very short period of time to see and experience and to purchase. And the vendors were so ecstatic. They made connections, they network.
Absolutely.
They were able to increase their individual listservs so that they will be able to advertise to more people than they ever thought they were going to. We also then moved it over to Wine Dance Plaza. We got a great opportunity, and we're doing it in collaboration this year, not only with Wine Dance Plaza, but we're doing it with Kimberly Jean-Pierre and Dwayne Gregory. And to be able to have the outdoor, we're hopeful that the weather will be as beautiful as we planned for it to be.
Ooh, it's not going to be last year.
Last year, we were able to roll with the punches.
And we went, and it was great.
Mother Nature said, no, you're not going to be outside. So we said, we understand.
We get it.
And so we went inside.
Right.
We were able to reconfigure.
We did.
We were able to have it such that it was not a fire hazard. We made sure that even our food trucks came in the rain.
Right,
and
yes,
we gave
they did, 'cause we
tents
got food.
outside for the food trucks. So we're going to have food trucks and so many different opportunities for us. So if you're looking to throw an event, have an event, plan an event, write a book, learn how to write a book, this will be the place for you. Wyandanch Plaza, we're going to be utilizing the inner workings of it, where it's beautiful and has been
So beautiful.
wonderfully. I say, whenever you're going to buy a house, it's like what the street appeal is. It's
Right.
wonderful street appeal.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
We're going to have the entire midsection, and we're going to
Okay.
have vendors and everyone from Nan Wright, who is an author of poetry,
Okay.
and she's 85 years old. She'll be there
wow.
selling her poetry books that she
Nice.
wrote when she was 83.
Oh, wow.
So that's when she's first published. So we're going to have everyone out there. Bouncy House is one of the sponsors is Bouncy House, and so it'll be for children, for adults.
great.
So we're just hopeful that the weather
It will. It'll hold out. The rain is. We're getting all the rain out of the way now.
from your mouth upstairs.
So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear more about the vendors that will be at Ujama Fest. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Conversations with Verdel Jones, having a lovely conversation with Deborah Payton Jones. Great last name, by the way.
I'll tell my husband.
So I want to get right into a category, but you can also tell me some other ones just in case I missed a few, which I'm sure I did because I'm sure you have a lot of vendors. But let's talk about the creators first. I know you have artists Hudson, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Is it Chignon? Chignon. Okay, so artist Hudson Chignon. And tell us a little bit about him. I love his artwork. I think we have a picture of some of the stuff that he does. I think we were a little bit out of order there. But if you could show artist Hudson Chignon's work, that would be great. But he does comics.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, our son was in AXO years ago.
Yes.
And he, Hudson was his mentor.
You can't make this stuff up.
Right, right.
They say 6 degrees of
Yeah,
separation.
exactly. It's not
No,
even.
it's about
not
3.
Even, exactly. So when we went to Ujama Fest in December of 2017, Hudson was there, and I'm like, "You look so familiar in that name." And then my son, attended also, and they reconnected. But so he's going to be one of the artists that are there. Are there any other artists that will be in?
We have, again, like I said, our first one, we had 65 vendors.
Wow.
This one, to just give you guys an idea of some of the vendors, and I want to make sure I don't miss. Our sponsors are Wandance Plaza,
Okay.
Long Island Color Print, DJ Smiley, School of Bounce, Young Hip Professionals.
Oh.
You might want to follow them. VidCom. Then our confirmed vendors, we go from Keep Your Change, Little Shop of Madness, Marcus Films, Culture Trees, Above Ground Unlimited,
Wow.
Accessories and Fashions, Hudson Chignon Illustrator, Islip Town branch of the NAACP, Wyandanch Mothers for Change, Bree Woo, that's Wendy Woodward.
Wendy Woodward.
Blue Poetries, Creations by Phoebe. We have Homegirl from the Hamptons by Bonnie Cannon. Fashionista. We have so many. See if I don't say more, then you're going to think I forgot you. We have Dara Kalima, Von Seal Cheney, Sign Me Up Signs and Advertising of Beth Page, Artisan's Nook, Luncheon by My Pearls, like instead of clutching my
Clutching my pearls, yeah.
My D Hair, so Mighty Hair Solutions,
Wow.
Marcus Pierre Clothing, Peace by Nama, Primerica finds its way in most places.
Yes, it does.
Planet Marketing, Knox and Company. Then we have our youth entrepreneurs. We have
wow.
Shea Essence by Tatiana, Body Butters and Oil. We have Bee Amazing Lip Balm,
I remember that.
Diadem by Ari. And this is a shameless plug. My great nephew, not my nephew, but my great nephew, he was just featured in the town of Babylon, and he has a business called Peyton's Planet Recycling Services by Peyton.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
I can never
interesting.
say the word Peyton enough.
Right.
But so
Exactly.
he'll be there as well. And then for our Eries, we have the big black food truck. Oh, how yummy was that? Good Eats Grill, 50 Shades of Soul Catering. And then we have media. Could be UTV by Linda Lynn. On My Free Time. And that's just
Right.
the list that I
list.
can give you now
Right.
without boring you to tears. The rest you have to come and see.
So let's talk a little bit about the. So last year we had the opportunity to eat at one of the food trucks.
Yes.
The food was delicious. How do the individuals who actually participate? How do they find out about being able to participate in Ujama Fest besides Black Long Island, because that's really where they need to go? But how did you get all these vendors to kind of participate?
And that's a good question. We have my individual page. So you have to think about, there was a commercial years ago. It was like, and so on and so on.
Right.
So when we post one thing on Black Long Island, and then I post it on my individual page, I'm going to reach people that are from a whole different wealth than you might reach.
Right, absolutely.
We may
Yeah,
have
yeah.
4,000 people each on our pages, and we may have in common 450.
Right.
But those other 3,000 people can learn
Right.
something from us that they may not have known.
Right.
So we just make sure that our advertising has been really tight. We're about to embark upon a whole new platform that we're going to introduce while at Ujama Fest.
Oh, okay.
Because
You've heard
we've
it
been
here.
working on a lot of great promotional pieces to
Okay.
make sure that people understand that Black Long Island isn't a negative against anyone else.
Right.
It's a positive. It's identifying because everyone that shops in any different shop is not of one ilk.
Right.
So we need to make sure, because the advertising and marketing budgets may not be there for these small mom and pop
yeah.
and new entrepreneurs, we're making sure that everyone mainstream. You don't have to be black to shop with us.
Right. No. As a matter of fact, we want everybody.
We want, and if you don't know everybody, we want everybody to be there with us.
Absolutely. And that's interesting too, because we talk about, and I'm just going to go from a personal experience in reference to my book. My book is called The Parent Agent: How to Represent Your Child and Get Them into the College of Their Choice. And it just isn't, I just can't rely on black folks to buy my book.
No.
Because it might not happen.
We can't rely on any one ilk to buy anything.
To buy anything. So it's, it's very important, and I see this a lot also on on Black Long Island, you know, comments that need to be made. We want everybody to be included in this, and that's the way that you gain economic power. You just can't keep it within yourself. But you should also patronize, you know, Black businesses as well as Black people. You know,
oftentimes you hear, "Oh, I've been to that restaurant." Well, do you say that about other restaurants? Do you say that about? I'm not going to use another brand, but there are different restaurants that people go to frequently.
Right.
All I say is switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You might find something that you like.
Right.
Equally. No one's saying anything is better or worse.
Right.
But you might find something that you like equally. And you don't want to miss out on something in life. Life is too short to miss out and do the same thing repetitively.
Right.
You know what that is. If you keep doing things the same way,
same results,
expecting different results, there's a definition for that.
Exactly. And one of the other companies that I wanted to take a look at was Lena Almonte from the Little Shop of Madness 3D Printing. And what happened, because I'm on Black Long Island all the time, and she was featured as one of the vendors. But I was a little bit, I know what 3D printing is, but I was a little bit confused about what she actually creates with the 3D printing, because I thought that was interesting.
It's so cool. You'd be surprised. Okay, I work in New York City. I work at the Fashion Institute of Technology. So when we find that you can have a camera that can circle you, that would give the depth and dynamic of who you are, and that can then be printed and made into, instead of it just being 1D or 2D, you can actually have, instead of, you know, oftentimes people have a blow up of themselves. You can have a 3D blow up of yourself.
Wow.
You can have things that are made now. It's so creative. It's like someone sat in the back room and said, I don't want to just have this picture. I want to make sure this cup can be really redone. Right. And so she's able to take the simplest form and make you believe that you have really transformed and gone somewhere.
And I love the fact that this is technology that you usually do not see Black women participate in.
Yes. The STEM field is a field that we are good at.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Oftentimes people don't have the confidence to then move forth and to go out and math. How many people have taken Math 9 when they were in the 6th and 7th grade, but then they were told that, oh, you've satisfied all your requirements, so you don't have to do any more math.
Right.
Whereas you should have been told, you've taken Math 9 in 6th and 7th grade.
Right.
You need to take all the math sequence.
Every math you can get.
Every math you can get, because you excel in it.
Right.
That way you wouldn't be afraid of it later on.
Right, yeah.
We are going to have, I just got a phone call the other night, and there's going to be on Black Long Island in the next few hours information about applying for high school seniors, applying for a STEM scholarship.
Nice.
And it's really something that when we found out, it's a very fast turnaround. It's the 15th is the turnaround time.
Okay.
So you know that you're in the mode to apply for scholarships. So you know what you have to do to get that application in on time.
That's right. And you already probably have essay that you have done that you can tweak for it, I'm sure.
Yes.
And that's the other thing about Black Long Island, opportunities. So anytime that I have an opportunity that comes across my desk, I'm going to post it there, my personal page, and also there.
We love when you do that, because then what we do is immediately, there's several of us on our team that go in and review the submissions and then hit accept, so that way it can be posted.
Right.
You might find that you're posted in the next minute.
Right.
Because there's so many of us, well, not so many, it's like 7 of us that then read through, and we want to make sure, one, that you're benefiting the people on Long Island, 2, that your information is there that's going to be a positive and uplifting and not something in the other direction.
Right.
3, that it doesn't have to have alcohol in everything we do. And 4, we want to make sure it's timely.
Yeah, it has to be timely. And you know what, that's my question. Since I have you here, one of the Black Long Island folks, how do you go through all of those submissions?
It's hard.
Because I'm sure you get some nonsense on it too.
We get some interesting comments. We get interesting requests for posting posters. We get a lot of interesting things.
I'm sure you do.
And that, if indeed Billy and Felicia ever want to write a book, I hope that all of it is saved on the server because it is noteworthy and people will read it. But what we really do, we sit down individually in our own respective spaces.
Okay.
For me, it may be between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
That
Okay.
I'm now I've winded down. The phone's not going to ring. I'm not going
Right.
to answer any email, and I'll sit and go through until my eyes burn. And we are not only accepting people to become members of Black Long Island,
Okay.
but we're also reading through all of the submissions. And what I try to do is anything that has a immediate date.
Right.
I try to go through all of them
get
first
that.
and get
Right.
those first.
Right.
And then I go through and see the things that are like on the borderline of approving and those that can be quickly approved.
Okay.
So I like to make sure that I go through and then each one of us are doing it at different times.
At different times. Okay.
That's what makes it work.
Right, it has to. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to hear a little bit more about becoming a moderator, or to be able and just being involved. How people can do that, and we're going to talk more about the vendors as well. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you.
Dropping gems from Keisha Christian. She's on a mission, sharing information, knowledge for soul, body and mind. Dropping gems, KeishaGems.com, KeishaGems.com.
Welcome back to Conversations with Verdel Jones. We are talking to Deborah Payton Jones about Black Long Island and Ujamaa Fest that's coming up on May 18th in Wyandanch, New York. And what are the times?
From 12 noon to 5 p.m.
And it is
Free
FREE.
F to the R to the E to the E. We do have an Eventbrite page so you can read up a little bit more and register, so that way we have an idea when our vendors ask us how many people are coming. We like to tell them how many people have registered thus far, so that we'll be able, because you never know, there may be freebies, giveaways.
So make sure you register, because I didn't register yet. And I'm coming, so I'm going to do that. So make sure you register. Just because it's free doesn't mean you don't want to know who's going to be there, I guess, right? So let's talk a little bit more about the vendors. One of the vendors that kind of caught my attention also, and it was featured on the page, was Yulette David.
Yes.
And she is a certified tracheologist?
Yes.
Right? Is that how you say that?
It's not tracheologist.
It's not tracheologist. Right. I was like, that doesn't sound right, but.
So let me see where she is. We have, with our bios, we have some great stuff. And what we did do was we put on Black Long Island. So if you'd like to go to Black Long Island and click announcements, we have a blurb about 5 to 10 of our different vendors thus far, and each day we're adding more vendors there.
Okay.
And she is one of the ones not to miss. In looking at her bio, what we looked at was she is a certified trichologist.
Oh, okay. Not tracheologist, y'all.
So it's like it's a trichologist, and and so what her let me just give it to you
Yeah.
real quick. What questions you may have about your hair, your hair loss, your scalp. She'll do scalp analysis on the spot, and she is just really one of those people. How many times have you gone in, or you've seen someone that may have alopecia,
Yes.
or they may have balding? And alopecia is balding in spots.
Right.
They may have what I call stress spots, because some people
yeah.
go immediately to one side and they'll pluck,
Some people
and
pick-
don't realize it. Other people sleep on one side and they wonder why one side of their hair is thinner or thicker on one side than the other side.
Okay.
So she'll be able to give you an on-the-spot analysis. Now, some things, when you go real deep, may have a minimal fee, but she's going to be there to be able
Okay.
to help you on the road to answer questions that you may not even have known
You
you
might
had.
not even know. Right, exactly. Oh, that's great.
And the only reason I know a little bit about that is because I did also, we said FAMU a little while ago, so I
yes.
did go to an HBCU. I went to Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, which I love dearly. And but before that, I went to beauty school.
Okay.
And so I did my 1,000 hours. So I know a little bit about alopecia and then the remedies and things that you have to do in order for you to live right. And I look different all the time. I'll have a perm, I'll cut it all off, and I'll be natural. Who knows what I'll look like next year? Who knows?
So you definitely want to make sure you check that out. So just the diversity of individuals that you have coming to Jama Fest is just outstanding.
It mirrors the diversity
really
of our
does.
community.
That's right. It really does. So we also have Wendy Woodward from Brewu. She will be there. She was there at the
Yes, she
first
was.
one. She was there at the second one.
Yes, she was.
And she will be there at the third one. So tell us a little bit about Wendy Woodward and Brewu. She was actually on our show, so I know a little bit
was
about her.
here.
But if you could just tell people a little bit about Wendy and her product line. She has a great product line.
So when we go
Definitely.
through and we look at the next, I was going to go old, young, not old, because I
She
personally
didn't say that, Wendy.
am close to Social Security receiving age, and I'm happy because I don't know how much longer it'll be around.
That's right. So you might as well get it while you
I will
can.
be collecting as soon as the day one of eligibility. Just saying. I want
So
to
we
make
can talk about. We can also show. It's Shea
Tatiana?
Sense, Tatiana,
Yes.
Miss Tatiana. So let's show her in her stuff there too. Now she also has a beauty line, just like Wendy as well. So what's
We've known her since she was 8. She started
Okay.
her line when she was 8.
And how old is she now?
13?
Oh wow. Okay. She looks about 13.
14. She might be, let's see, because when you see someone all the time, she's maybe 16.
Okay. Oh, so she's a little bit older.
So she's been in
Okay.
business for
a long
like
time.
8 to 10 years. She's been more than half of her life.
Wow.
She has been in business. And when you see her, when you meet her, you see a young person whose family has fed into her ability
Yeah.
and has encouraged her so she can explore new things. Her product line is ever growing. She uses Shea Moisture, and so Shea is a seed that is grown only in one part of Africa
Right.
that a lot of people don't realize. This may say Shea, but no, when it says Shea, that is another level. That is another level of moisturizing
Right.
that you're going to get that is great for all skin types, especially when you have a certain level or number hair. So you would want to use Shea on your body
Okay.
because it's heavier and it allows you to then really create.
Right.
She has just been, and not only is she smart, but she's just adorable.
Right.
Oftentimes you meet people that are in business and you love to buy their product, but I'm just
Right. I understand.
but she is not one of those.
Yeah.
None of the vendors that we have are of that ilk,
Right.
because we want to make sure that if we're going to be bringing in people that have similar product lines.
Right.
I mean, my niece, she's not going to be able to do it this time, but she has curly girls hair, her hair care
Okay.
products, and she's not going to be able to be here because she just started with the North Amityville Fire
Oh, wow.
Department, and so
Okay.
she's in training.
Okay.
So it's a blessing to be able to encourage people in many different levels. So if you have a perm, this is for you. If you have natural hair, this is for you. If you buy your hair, this is for you. Because everything needs to be controlled.
That's right. So you have Brewu coming in, Wendy Woodward. Like I said, we had Wendy on the show before. She was telling us all about her products. But we also have accessories. You know, so we have I love this, Clutching My Pearls with Lakima Thomas.
There are so many beautiful products and product lines. And when we've not spoken about price point.
Okay.
You can buy something from $5 to $500. You will be able to commission, if you see something you like. A lot of these designers and entrepreneurs make their own products.
Right.
So they will go out and really tailor what you would like and what you need. I also say, when you're thinking about when you're getting married, think about getting a necklace or something for each one of your bridesmaids. Do something that's outside of the norm. Do something, get something made that will bring the uniformity. If the dresses are different, it doesn't have to always be the dress that's the same, because everyone has a different body type.
True.
But if you make sure that the accessories are the same, then you're really giving yourself. So just think outside of the box.
That's that fashion institute coming out. That's a great idea.
It's just something. It's just a way to make things a little different.
So we have the jewelry that's there. And you have designers that are coming also. I know there's some designers a couple of years ago. I remember the designers. So there's designers there as well.
And we have African print fabrics that come from all over the world.
Right.
We have people that make their own. We have people that were knitting. Anything you want. And if it wasn't here, if it wasn't there your first time or second time, then we can create. We're creating a list. That's another thing we're trying to do. A list of all those who have been at all of our events.
Oh, that's great.
Because then you'll be able to patronize them.
Right.
You might need a bouncy house. You might need a caterer.
Right.
You might need a florist. There are so many different people. You might need a barber.
Right.
Sir Shave is in that same
space.
plaza. And then there are individual barbers there are barbers that will travel and come do your hair. There are beauticians that will come and travel and do your hair. There are beauticians that are open at 3 o'clock in the morning on Long Island.
Wow.
So you can get your hair done before your meeting.
So there are. Now, I know, like, if you have a wedding or a party or something, you have people, you know, like a beautician will come in and do all that. But there are people who actually go to the homes, and that is good to know.
We have nail technicians. There's one young lady who is a nail technician, and she travels around. And because she travels, because she does a lot of work for television. So her time is she's available, because when you're doing early morning television, Marilyn, when you're doing early morning television, you have the rest of the day to then go and be an esthetician and do something. So there's so many different ways that you can then be serviced and get good service.
Wow, that's it. See, and these are the things that you will find out when you attend Ujamaa Fest, because like I didn't know. I mean, I guess I can kind of would imagine a beautician would do that, but I just never really thought about it. You know,
that's what I did all through college.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
I had the scissors, I had the supplies. And I did it wherever, because you don't have a salon.
That's right. That's right. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the membership. In other words, how can people get involved, not just looking at Black Long Island and posting things, but how can they get involved to help and support?
Just the other day, someone posted that we should have a certain activity. And they had no idea that in our powwows that we have regularly, that was one of the topics. And so we always are looking for those people who are interested in certain things to be a part of our committees. Because we will have a committee, and it's not something, oftentimes in this day and age, we are so busy with everything we have to do in our life that we don't want to commit ourselves to one more thing. But if you have a certain event or activity or skill set that we can then push forward and you can be a part of our team, we would love to have you. So that's the best way. So when you're submitting information to Black Long Island, go in and write and say, Felicia, Billy, moderators, are you there? I have this great idea. And we immediately respond to them. I responded to one particular event, and I said that we were just speaking about that, and please inbox me so I can give you more information.
So you get more information. So we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that and just the other community events that I know Black Long Island is planning.
Supporting.
And we're going to make sure that we get information to you about the event as a whole, Ujamaa Fest, so you attend that. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Conversations with Verdel Jones. I am just, I am anticipating Ujama Fest because, you know what? This is what I would recommend to people, that you go on Black Long Island, see who's going to be there, and map out what you want to see.
Excellent.
Right?
Excellent.
But then make sure that you have at least 5 people that you didn't put on that list, because you never know what they might have to offer.
Exactly.
Because
That's
you
a
might
great
miss
idea.
something.
Inevitably you're going to miss something.
Right.
But as long as you think about categories.
Right.
Like today I was at the office, I said to certain people when we had an event, I said, what was your goal? Did you achieve your goal for today?
Right.
And most of them said yes. But there were several that said, I didn't set a goal for
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So Verdel is telling you to set a goal, meet somebody new, learn something new,
Right.
buy something different. Don't stay with your same. You know your patterns.
Right. You do.
Step aside
Right. Right.
and look at a different pattern, because guess what? Just like when people think they're drowning, it might only be 2 feet of water, so stand up.
I like that. I like
My
that.
daughter's a lifeguard, so we always
I love that
had to come up with
analogy.
different things
Right.
to say to her that was water related.
Right.
That were water related. I'm so corny.
I love that. So tell us a little bit more about, before we took a break, we were saying, I was mentioning that Black Long Island is planning some community events. I saw something, I wasn't too sure, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know there's some other things. I went to the website, because there's a website too.
Yes.
It was blacklongisland.net.
Yes.
Yes. So you can go to the website to see information, but what are some other things on the horizon besides, I know you said you were going to be posting a scholarship, but what are some other things?
What's good about this is one of the things that we've done in the past, and we're looking to do again, because we did it in a very small location and we're looking to make it larger.
Okay.
So we spoke about mental health and mental health issues, things that are normally taboo in most communities, but
Right.
especially the Black community. We're going to be speaking about, Dr. Pam Allen will talk about Kwanzaa 365. And you'll learn and understand that the principles, it's not just memorizing them
Right.
during the days of Kwanzaa, if people even remember when the days of Kwanzaa
Right.
are.
Right.
But it's
Right.
also living them and understanding, and that's where Ujama came from, as being the 4th principle. Then I will be talking and having a table. Most people don't know that the elections have changed dramatically, and that there will no longer be a primary in September. So I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm just making sure that you understand that
Wow.
the primary is going to be June 25th this year. So June 25th, most people are thinking about
Vacation
Orlando.
and right. Wow.
So what I'm admonishing everyone that's watching, all your viewers, to do
Interesting.
is, if you even think you might be busy on Tuesday, June the 25th, that you should get an absentee ballot now.
Wow.
Fill it out so that way a ballot can be mailed to you, so you will not miss it.
Right.
Because this is going to be the precursor to the November election. There will no longer be a September election.
Wow.
So this is part of the little subtle nuances
Education,
and the things
education.
that, yes. And so we're trying to, I called my initiative Voter Education 365.
Okay.
And
Got
I've
it.
been pushing this for the last 2 years now. And so what's great about it is to make sure that whether you, and then there's going to be other new rules that the New York State legislature have passed. And they passed it, I believe it was March. It was March that these were passed. So this is all brand new. And they're
Right.
still making and working it out. But also down the pike, once it's finalized, students that are 16 and 17 can pre-register. And that way, the day they turn that age, their registration will then be in effect.
Okay.
So
okay.
we're trying to make
Wow.
sure we get you from the rooter to the tutor.
That's right. That's right.
From Bebe's kids to Beyonce,
And everything in
and
between.
everything in between. Well, Beyonce could be one of Baby's, so let's keep going. So from to Barnard's kids, who knows? But
And also, is one of the when we went to Maya and I went to the Women's Diversity Summit.
Yes.
And they were talking about the 2020 census.
yes, the 2020 census is huge. They're hiring right now, so a lot of you are looking for jobs and positions. They're looking for every level of position is open at this time for the
Okay.
the United States Census, not
Right.
just the New York, it's the Census 2020.
Right.
We will have information about that
Oh,
there
good.
as well.
Okay, I knew you would. I knew you would. So let's tell everyone about Ujama Fest. Well, let's show everyone where they can go. There's information there about the location, the times. Make sure you go on to register. You can go on to blacklongisland.net and get information. Anything else that people should know?
You can go, if you put Black Long Island in Google, it'll give you where the Eventbrite page is, and then you can go in and register. Oftentimes people hear the word Eventbrite and register and think that the third thing is a fee.
Okay.
No, this is for free. We want to make sure that we know who's coming, or at least have an idea, so that way our vendors can be well prepared with the product line that they're bringing. Oftentimes, if we think that we're going to see 1,000 people, we bring items enough for 1,000 people. But if we are going to see 250, we want to make sure that everybody's time is utilized
smart.
properly.
Yeah, that's definitely smart. So I want to thank you so much for being a guest on Conversations with Verdel Jones. We are looking forward to Ujama Fest and all the great things Black Long Island has to offer. So thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Yes.
And thank you for having us. And thank you for Black Long Island for even existing.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Felicia.
Thank you, everybody, for watching Conversations with Verdel Jones. We will see you, we'll actually see you next week. So have a good one.
Come on out.